We're going to try something different today. Once upon a time, there was a girl that was born that was sensitive to energy, to emotions. But no one in her world knew what that meant or knew how to give her the tools to understand what her body was telling her, or to know that not all the things she was absorbing were hers, and that she didn't need to hold on to all the things that weren't hers. Fast forward to when she was 18, she had severe hip pain. And it wasn't due to an accident or a fall, an injury, or physical activity. It was emotional. And she found an acupressurist, and it took over a year to make the pain manageable. She went to college, she found an acupuncture school, and went regularly. It relieved her pain and helped with her eczema, which she was sure was caused by food and environment, like weather and water and stuff. But on top of all that, what she didn't know, that it was energetic. It was emotional. So if you're in a high stress situation, working at a new job with high expectations, your eczema is going to act up. That and the kitchen is really, really hot. Not a great combination for having skin issues. Fast forward, now she's working in the big city of Atlanta at a spa that offers yoga. She learns about chakras and auras and energies and Reiki. And it's still all really confusing. Then her mom gets sick. Her mom dies of cancer. Her mom was her best friend. She felt lost, grief, drowning her, crushing her under like the tremendous weight of an open sea. She got a new job. She was in charge of the yoga. She was introduced to a sound practitioner who helped bring awareness to the narratives inside her mind, the things that were keeping her trapped in this perpetual cycle of anger and grief and thinking that things inside of her were ugly and scary and unwanted, and helping her see that those things just need love and compassion. They're not things to get rid of and to banish, but to embrace. And then was encouraged to seek out Reiki, to then help distinguish the things that were hers versus the things that weren't hers, and to clear her energy, her aura, and chakras. It changed her life. The grief didn't weigh as much, wasn't as crushing. The anger sizzled, but didn't consume. And then she found, during the pandemic, a somatic, neurodivergent, queer chiropractor through TikTok, Dr. Sam in San Francisco, and they taught her how to listen to her body, to check in with her shoulders, her heart, and her overall emotional state, and taught her gentle body movements to then tell her brain, we're going to do a thing. We're going to shift. We're going to take where our energy is and either lower it or increase it, depending what we need. Are we coming into rest, or are we gearing up to go out into the world to do a thing? That intelligence, that learning the language of her body was pivotal. That was like the missing element. Then she learned breathwork from Lisa Jones, from Visionary Healing and her recovery studio. Now, this child, this young woman, had been a singer. She had been in choir her whole life. She knew how to breathe with her belly, but she didn't know how to breathe when she wasn't singing. Come to find out, she would hold her breath, her shoulders attached to her ears in shallow chest breathing. But when told to breathe into her belly, she could. When told to breathe into her lower back, she was astonished. What do you mean? Breath goes belly, belly, belly. And Lisa was like, no, breath goes three-dimensionally. In your diaphragm, moving your ribs, belly, and lower back, and your pelvic floor. It's dynamic. And your breath tells your nervous system to tell your brain if you're safe or not. And if your breath is always in your shoulders, then your brain thinks, I need to make adrenaline and cortisol because we either need to fight to defend ourselves or to run to safety. And staying at that state was not serving this person. It was causing her shoulders to be rocks, her eczema to flare up, for her hips to have pain. But with Reiki, somatic work, breath work, all of that becomes more manageable, more understandable. And when she doesn't do her practices, she can really feel it. And when really big things happen in life, like a death of a loved one, those emotions come back and the body tries to communicate. And sometimes she listens and sometimes she doesn't. And she learned really quickly that she should listen and not fall away from her practices. And yoga has taught her to be mindful, and the philosophy behind yoga has really pulled everything together in this beautiful bundle. And this young woman is me. I'm Rachel. I'm the person of this story. That's my journey. And taking time to be still, to meditate, to do a yoga practice, or to be creative, I think is pivotal. It's really important, guys. I used to journal when I was younger because I was a very much like Harriet the Spy fan, and I would write facts. And then I got into high school at Counterpain, and my literature teacher, Karen, asked for more. What did you feel? What did you see? What was the weather like? Give me details. And my brain went, oh, well, those are facts too. I was just overlooking them. So that's also listening to the body in a different way. That's listening to your environment. And sometimes I would surprise myself what I could express that I wasn't aware of, that were subtle things happening in the background of my mind. Then I write poetry, and then I draw. I love to draw and just doodle and make lines and shapes. Can I draw a portraiture or a landscape or anything realistic? No, but it feels good. I like what I make. And I think everyone and anyone can be an artist. You can make something. It's not going to look like anybody else's. It's going to look like you. And I think that's very telling. And I think it's important and empowering. So all this to say, this is why I've set up a Patreon page where I offer monthly Reiki and coherent breathing practices via Zoom. And I have offered mindfulness prompts because I want to give people the tools to help transform your life, to give you empowerment and knowledge about what your body wants and needs and is trying to communicate to you. So yeah, that's my story. That's what I wanted to share. And that's why I've set up a Patreon page. And that's why I'm doing the work that I'm doing, because it's changed my life and I want to help empower all of you, my community, my people, to find peace, to make a brave space for you to go through your feelings and make friends with them and change the narratives around how you see yourself. So thanks for listening and see you around. Check out my offerings.